Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brienne and this is Bree's Knits. I've been wanting to do a knit and chat for quite some time, but as I mentioned in my previous video, I have started a new job and adjusting was a little hectic for the first couple of weeks. Also I'm wearing the Ripple halter by Jessie May because I'm sure as you're tired of hearing everybody, I don't know if it's like nationwide. It feels like it's just a West Coast thing, which I think it is. Everybody on the West Coast is experiencing a really intense heat wave. Like right now where I am, let me double check. It's 5:42 p.m. and it is currently 100 degrees outside. Earlier it was 106 at like 1. And it just feels like I'm in Arizona. It doesn't feel like I'm in Southern California in the summer. I mean, I'm not a stranger to really hot weather. It's just like really just too intense right now. So I've kind of been staying indoors as much as possible, trying to make sure we're hydrated as much as possible. So that's as much as I'm doing right now. Thankfully, working from home today, so it was okay for the most part, but it's weird. I don't know if it's because of the location of where we are, that once it starts getting to about 4 or 5, that's when the heat really sets in where I live. And I think it might just be like where the sun is setting kind of thing. I don't know if it's because like our window faces where the sun is setting, so I guess west. Not really sure if that would be considered west, but rises in the east, sets in the west kind of thing. So I'm gonna assume so. I think that's what it is, honestly, because then the sun just comes in blazing hot and it gets really warm in here. And even in the room where I work, I had to buy a little fan for my desk, but I didn't need it for most of the naked day, again, until about like 3 or 4, which is weird because 10 to 2 is like the sun's peak, especially 12 to 2. And then now all of a sudden it's like hotter in our house, so it's just not fun. I guess I should mention what I'm working on. I am working on my test knit. Also, because it's so hot, I'm not opening my curtains. Everything is closed shut. So I have to use artificial light this time. So I'm very sorry if everything looks washed out, but this is what we're dealing with right now. Okay. Otherwise, it would look very odd in here. But I am currently working on my Cargill test knit. Here it is. I feel like this is a better depiction of the color, like about here. I finished half a sleeve today and I have it on scrap yarn because I was looking at the yarn I do have left. I have, so this is basically a full new skein of mohair, and this is the end of my 4th skein, I believe, or 3rd. But I have 3 more skeins of the Knitting for Olive and 3 more of the mohair. So I'm a little nervous. So I'm just gonna knit the sleeves to like half sleeve portion anyway, and then knit the body and see what I have left. Because I don't know, like, and also I had thought about it before too. Like, I wonder if this would look really cute or not as a short sleeve. And I just conferred with the other gals and Fiverr friends on our chat what they think a half sleeve would look like, or if they thought it would look good. And everybody was seemingly on board. Yeah, everyone said it looked cute. I even thought, like, the first image that came to mind when I first thought about a half sleeve was like those old, not old, but those vintage like shirts, blouses, like knitted blouses, you know, that were half sleeved or 3/4 sleeve. So I really liked that idea. So I think it's kind of fine either way. It's not like, and then some people are playing yarn chicken, and I don't want to have to end up doing that because I will most certainly lose. This sweater does require a ton of yarn, um, but you know, it's as expected for textured patterns. They do use it a lot more, but you know what? It's worth it because it's so squishy, like very squishy. Like in times when I've been knitting this, I will just kind of stop and just go like that, and it feels so nice, very nice. Trying to think of what else I can talk about before we get into questions. I don't think that much. I kind of hate that it's so hot right now, but it's also like I see all those memes of like, oh, this is the hottest summer of my life. And then like the Homer Simpson memes, and they're like, no, it's actually the coolest summer of your life, like from now on. And it kind of just sucks, you know, that with climate change and like man-made effects on our climate that this is happening, because I would 100% love to be in a climate where we're experiencing like 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Like between, I would say for me, the soft spot, like cold wise, because I can bundle up, is like between 40 to 60. Which I think for some people, depending on where you are, 60 isn't that cold. But for Californians, it's like if it gets below, there's always jokes, especially for Southern Californians. If it gets below like 78 degrees Fahrenheit, you see everyone busting out all their sweaters and like feeling like it's fall already. Don't get me wrong, we definitely get like, there's places that get a little cooler, which is mostly in the mountains. But that's like an additional hour or so away from where I am. And I'm not that close to like LA, so I would definitely not have that many yarn choices like near me. As it is, I don't have that many near me anyway. But yeah, it's just, I mean, it sucks. I kind of wish that I lived in those kind of climates. But I mean, oh, the grass is always greener, right? So I don't know. I mean, some people probably would prefer to be in a place where it's always sunny, but I don't know. Like there are times when we've been to, like my husband and I and my aunt, we went to Canada in the fall. We went to Calgary. So we visited Banff, and we went initially just, I really wanted to see the Northern Lights, but I think we went a little too early to do that. So we did like a little tour thing in Canada to see the Northern Lights, but you know, that like natural phenomenon is not something you can schedule. So they had even said on their website, like, we recommend you try to be here multiple nights in like the Jasper National Park. Otherwise, you might not be able to see it. So we didn't get so lucky. We only went for one night. And I just didn't realize like Canada has a dark sky reserve, and I wish I would have known that before we went, because we did drive. And just driving around Jasper was like, it was really intense. But I really had a fun time on that trip. And when we went, it was in September, I believe. Yeah, it was in September. I remember we came back the day of my husband's wedding, day of my husband's birthday. So that's about mid-September. But I really liked it over there. I mean, it was cold, like to the point where I needed layers, but I think I would prefer to bundle up rather than be in like intense heat all the time, because there's only so much you can do, you know, till you can't do anymore. So I don't know, and this can have like really intense effects on our bodies. whether you have like chronic illness or, you know, just different things. Like the heat causes so much stress on our bodies for prolonged periods of time, so I'm just not a fan at all. And then I even went to, where was it? I went to Ireland with my aunt and my uncle. We went in the summer, which was kind of interesting. So the weather there, this was a few years ago too. It was not even just a few years ago, it was more than a few years ago. Anyway, like 60s. So that was really nice. And then when it was in the 70s, it was just nice to walk around without a sweater, but also not feeling like you had to look for cover and shade. So really loving that. And I'm like super jealous of Kalila and her sister is going to Sweden for autumn, because I wish that were me, you know? Like I wish I could escape somewhere that's cooler than here and not be in this blistering heat. Like we aren't gonna get lower weather until, let me see, it's this Saturday, but I don't know where. Oh my goodness. Just got a notification to conserve energy. Extreme heat is straining the state energy grid. Power interruptions may occur. Turn off or reduce non-essential power until 9. It's so bad right now. Like tomorrow it's supposed to go up to 110. And we're not supposed to get, like, it'll go down to 89 on Saturday. That is the 10th of September. And then just stay in the 90s. That's just absolutely insane. And by the beaches, it's like maybe just 10 degrees, like less hot. But I hate it so much. And then I hate too that, I mean, I can just seriously go on a rant about this for a while. I wouldn't even get to the questions, but I hate that too. We don't have any, like, it really is a lot of concrete over here. And like only the really nice neighborhoods have all these trees and stuff. And we need like bigger trees on our streets, on our like suburban areas. Even in like the lower income areas, that way we can conserve energy and conserve all of that, so that way we can remain cool in the summer. But no, everybody wants clean streets and everyone wants concrete. It's just annoying. Or like people don't want to pay other people to maintain the area, or hey, we don't have water anymore. Like we're in a severe drought in California, but we don't need to plant things that need a ton of water. We can just not do that. We can explore other avenues. You know, I'm like on that side of TikTok, so I'm just like, oh my gosh, why did no one talk about this? Why don't we have this in every neighborhood? And then where was it that I saw? I don't know if it was like a video that said Norway or maybe a different Scandi country has like they have I think they call it was like grass on their roof to conserve energy and all that jazz, and like creating a better, biodiverse ecosystem. I thought that was really cool. Like honestly, like all these other countries are doing better than we are at these initiatives, and I want that. Like I want to be there. It's definitely a desire of mine. Anyway, I feel like I should get on to the questions. Otherwise, I will continue just ranting and talking about my desire to live somewhere other than here. But anyway, I am definitely jealous of Kalila and her siblings. Not just because they're gonna go see Alexandra from Alexandra's Gone, but also because they're gonna be going to Sweden. Like that's super cool. And honestly, I'm here for all the Scandi content. cannot wait because why not? I'll just live vicariously through everybody. Did I make a separate stitch? Oh no, okay, we're good. I'm just gonna live vicariously through everyone's trips. Like Allie is in Spain right now. Allie from Explorer Knits and Fibers. And I'm just living vicariously through her because I want to go to Spain eventually too. Yeah, and then I want to go to France, but I don't know, be able to. I was thinking maybe the closest I can get is Montreal. They speak French there, and it looks very nice. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Just definitely want to go somewhere cooler than here. Just escape for a little bit. Honestly, it's just funny because even for our honeymoon, my husband and I went to New Zealand in July or August, one of those 2 months, and it was their winter for like our summer because they're in the southern hemisphere. So it was their winter. And honestly, like, even though, yes, there were times, like, I think it was in, oh my gosh, I just totally blanked on the name. Queenstown? Wait. Hold on. I don't want to be wrong about this. I would have been able to just look at, hold on. Oh yeah, Queenstown, New Zealand. When we were there, it was very, very, very cold. It was snowing. And then other areas, not too bad. But it was definitely like one of our more favorite vacations that we've been on together. It's just everything. I mean, to be fair, just everything in New Zealand's great and amazing. Loved it. But yeah, we just like the colder places, I guess. So better to see a ton of Scandi content. I'm doing the dip stitch right now. Yeah, it requires an extra level of concentration. I wish I could tell you that I had something else on my needles to do, but I don't. I actually need to I'm at the, like, what do they call it in gaming? I'm on a speed run to finish this as soon as possible because I do have another test knit, and I do like to kind of just put all my focus into one test knit at a time. But who knows, maybe I'll just start the other one tonight, like cast on, and see how far I get the rest of the week. I'm pretty confident now, like if I do decide on just a half sleeve, this can get done pretty quickly. The sleeve took about, I want to say, a day and a half for half of the sleeve, but then I have to do the ribbing on 3.5 millimeters. I've noticed people have been getting their tongue tied on that one, but millimeters, because I have to. And then I start to notice other people get like that too. It's getting so hot in here right now, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start with the questions I asked over on my Instagram a couple of weeks ago, actually, if there are any questions that you guys have for me for a knit and chat. And I got a few replies, a few questions. So let me just finish this dip stitch and I will go ahead and take a look. Okay, let's take a look. Don't mind me, don't mind me. I'm just looking for my, there it is. Okay, so one of the questions was favorite fiber to work with. So I think during the process of knitting a project, I really like the way Siri alpaca feels. It just feels so like luxurious and nice, and I don't know. It's honestly just amazing. Yeah, I would say Surrey alpaca is definitely my favorite fiber to work with. Then somebody else asked dream yarn to work with. So for this one, I actually have, I have a whole, it's on my iPad. I have a spreadsheet of, yarns I want to work with. Mostly because sometimes my family asks and I feel weird about just sending like a super long list. So thought I'd make a spreadsheet to make it a little easier to see. And then I also hyperlinked like websites they can go buy it at. Multiple websites. Okay. Honestly, as of right now, okay. I have two on here that I can see. So I really want to work with Le Petit Lamb's Wool by the Bouche brand. I don't know, ever since I've seen their yarn on the Shop La Mercerie website, and I really liked the way the colors were, but then I started looking into them more, and I like the sound and idea of them. Oh, okay, I have three. I also want to work with the Woolly Knit British Cone. Shout out to Rebecca for that one. But also the colors look really great. I think the ones I have written down are burgundy red, cinnamon brown, and chestnut brown. They just look amazing and I want them. And also like the amount of yardage you get is just great. You won't have to keep weaving in a ton of ends. So love that idea. And then the last one, which I guess would have been like, these aren't in a particular order, like which one I most want to try or work with, like dream wise. It's hard for me to choose just one, but the other one is just any yarn by Fable Knitwear. Her yarns are like, I really like the way she makes her colors. There were times where I think it was like the Wizard's Cape or something, but I think because whatever acid dye she was using was discontinuing something she needed to make that, so she had to adjust her recipe. But her colors in general are really, really nice. I want to make, I think it's called the Maple Sweater by her, and she did it in her colorway Mage Bloom, and I really, really want it. I've been like keeping my eye out for it on her bulky base so that way I can make it. Because I've looked at other bulky yarns and honestly none of them compare, but it costs so much to get shipped over here. It's like $30. So I don't know, maybe I'll wait till her birthday sale next year. But then too, it's not a guarantee that she'll just have the bulky base available. So I don't know. Dilemmas. Maybe I'd have to like buy a ton of sock weight yarn in that colorway and then hold it with a mohair or some other yarn eventually to make it into that. So that way I'm not waiting for a bulky weight. But then again, shipping. So that's why I have it on my list in case around Christmas time she like stocks it, and then whoever, she doesn't have like a, like whatever's on her site is what she has in stock, not like a full comprehensive like photo album of all of her colors that she offers whenever she's in stock again. It's just whatever's there is whatever's available kind of thing, which I get. But I think she also has another colorway called the Two Rivers, inspired by Lord of the Rings, and oh, it's so good. It's so beautiful, but again, $30. I want it so bad. Yeah, anyway. So that's that for that question, I guess. Unless I show you. Let me just show you, because now I feel like I have to show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. I'm also excited for all her other patterns to come out because her patterns are they always give me life. Oh, she also sells boucle, in case anyone's into boucle. I know it was like a big like thing a while ago, but I mean, it does look nice. Anyway, let me get to the point here. See if she has any colorways on here I want to show you. Oh, it was Warlock. It wasn't Wizard's Cape. I don't know if you'll be able to see it or if it'll completely blow out. Hold on. Ah, don't focus on my ugly fingers. No, you can't really see it. Oh, there it is. Kind of. It's more like... Oh. I'm so close to you guys. It's more like... there we go. Kind of. Maybe if I do this. And we let it focus. We let it do its thing. Come on. There we are. It's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. I can't win. Anyway, that one is really nice. Let me see if she has Mage Bloom on here so I can show you guys. And then she also comes out with Advents every year. And they're really, really pretty too. Again, wish I could get it, but it's just so much money, mostly on shipping. I just cannot justify that right now. Okay, the Two Rivers. Hopefully it'll show up soon. Ta-da! I feel like it's showing up a ton darker on camera, so it's not that dark. And then I did see Mage Bloom under that one, so let me go ahead and take a look. Although I probably will just end up like putting her link in the description so that way you guys can see it. Let's see. And I just dropped my phone. Okay, that's nice. Give me a second. It's just so sweaty. It's like slipping out of my hands. Anyway, let's see. And eventually, there we are. Perfect. And then it got darker. Well, it's yellow. It's like a light yellow with strands of really dark yellow and like a birch rust thing going on with some brown and some speckles of blue. And honestly, ever since I've seen her come out with this color, I've just been in love. So I really want that colorway. Like I really, really want it. Like I just would prefer, like the dream is to own. So I guess, never mind, scratch all the other yarns. The dream is to work with Fable knitwear yarn at least once in my life. So, you know, there you go. Okay, next question. Dream pattern to make. So, let's get the tea. I don't know if I have a dream pattern to make. I know last time I did mention the Billy pullover, which I think, so I guess that one, I really do want to make that one. I think it would be a lot of fun, although now doing an all over texture pattern now I'm definitely going to need to do it when I don't have a deadline for myself. So maybe in the winter after Christmas, just because it does seem a little intimidating. But I think once I finish it, I will definitely cherish that forever, just because of all the work that went into it. So I guess the Billy pullover by Sadi would be it. The next question is any plans on designing? My camera's about to cut me off right now, so I think I'm just going to keep knitting and then I'll come back to it again in a second. So don't worry, I did not forget your question. Give me a second. Okay, I have a little bit more time left. So I mean, I've talked about it before that yes, those were definitely the intentions. I had started coming up with a design. But then the more I kind of worked on it, I mean, who knows, maybe I'll come back to it and figure out what's bugging me, but it definitely feels a little too bulky. It was gonna be in cotton, like worsted weight cotton. Now I'm like, oh, I don't know. I feel like this was such a lame idea. It's gonna look so like kindergarten-ish, but maybe it's just because I'm not really inspired by the color. I had gotten more of the skeins of Wool and Gain Shiny Happy Cotton in eucalyptus green because I had some left over. So I thought, what better way to utilize yarn than to just buy more of the same color I have so that way I can use, which doesn't make sense. I should have just made coasters with them or something. But I was just running with this idea as like, it'll just be a sample and that's it. But also because I started with some test knits, I kind of wanted to get a move on with those, so I kind of just set it aside. I do have ideas for other stuff. Are they like sketch? Yes, one of them is. The other one I kind of just thought about yesterday as an inspiration from, there is a brand, it's a ethically made, sustainable, Canadian-based brand. I think they're based in Vancouver. They're called Seek Shelter. They make a lot of stuff out of linen. That's how they started with their basic pieces anyway. And I have one of their tops. I treated myself a very long time ago to one of their shirts. And it's like this long sleeve shirt that has like the slightest ever puff. But I think the best way to describe it would be kind of like, I suppose it'd be like a saddle shoulder. So it's flat through here and then a set in sleeve with slight puffs and then kind of not ballooning all around, but a bit of a like loose sleeve and then cuffed right here. So I really love how that looks. So that really inspired me. But I think I just need to get through, like there are so many patterns I want to make and I'm kind of coming at an impasse of like, do I want to design? Do I feel like I have to design? Or do I want to just design other people's, not design, make other people's patterns, you know? But the thought has definitely crossed my mind. I'm not saying no, but I'm saying not right now. I think with just everything going on right now, I don't think I'm in a place to. I'll keep working on my other project, but I don't know. We'll see what comes of it. But I'm gonna work on that like slowly. It's not gonna be something that's gonna be done right away or by the end of the year. Well, I mean, who knows really, but there's just so many other patterns I want to make right now. So we'll see. Just not now, I guess. Let's see. I think the other question was like weird habits while knitting. Oh yeah, weirdest knit habit. The example was she eats while knitting. I'm trying to think. I have on more than one occasion. So I really love spicy chips, like really, really love spicy chips. Like for me, that is like my downfall. For a lot of people, the hard thing to give up is soda. The hardest thing for me to give up, if I were ever to like just want to eat clean or not processed, is chips. It's like the hardest thing in the world for me to give up. So there's these spicy chips called Turbo Flamas. They're like Takis, but I think flavor-wise it's better. I think they don't give me as much of a stomach ache immediately as Takis do. But so Turbo Flamas are where it's at. So I have definitely, and those stain my fingers red, like really, really red. So I've definitely eaten those while knitting and while knitting light colored things. Um, and sometimes there was a couple of times where it was a gift for someone. So what I ended up doing was putting those chips, and it's funny because they're like spiral chips. I put them into a bowl and I was eating them with chopsticks as to not stain my yarn or to stain the project. Because any other time if I was making it for myself, I'd just kind of like lick my fingers and then keep working. But for other people, even though I washed it afterwards, I felt really weird about doing that, so I didn't. Okay, let's see. The next question was, how do you decide what pattern to make next? And honestly, just if I really want it. I mean, there are some patterns that I do have in my Ravelry that I haven't made yet, but it's like I know I want to make it and I know I will come to it eventually. I mean, we only have so much time in the world, right? And I feel like every time I watch other people's podcasts, I mean, I know for sure Inga is like basically a knitting machine in her own right, but sometimes I feel like I don't knit as fast, but then there are other people who, I mean, I guess it's not really about knitting as fast, but like people's natural speed while knitting. Some people are faster, some people are a little slower. And then I feel like based on what I've seen online, I'm kind of just like the average speed knitter. So shout out to all my average overlords, my average knitting overlords. I don't know. But I don't know why that made me laugh, but I guess, yeah, like I definitely think I work at a pretty good like speed, but there are other people who have like full-time jobs and have like 2 or 3 finished objects at once and then 2 or 3 whips, and I'm just like, how do you do it? Like, where do you find the time? But yeah, so I don't think I'm that quick of a knitter. So I do have things in my library that I definitely know that I want to make, but it's kind of like, what do I feel inspired by and what do I kind of want to wear now? If there's any luck, I'll have planned it out in advance. I mean, I do have plans for fall, but I guess I haven't I know like some people, I really like how Kalila does it. She just does it like by month versus by season. Because if we do by season, then I feel like it gives me a little too much leeway to like not get to those projects. Versus if I did it by month, it would definitely make more sense. But I mean, I don't know. I guess I know for sure I'm gonna be making the what do you call it? The Athelian vest by Fabo Knitwear next, once I'm done with both of my tests, because the color I have for that specific vest is called Autumn, and it's by Knitting for Olive, the merino and the soft silk mohair. So I just feel like that's like the best way to bring in the actual season, you know, like September 22nd or 23rd, whenever autumn officially begins, not just when Starbucks tells us it begins. But yeah, no, definitely for sure I'm gonna do that. But I guess it just depends. So if we're like talking like summer till November, usually I plan out like gift knits. This year I think I'm mostly gonna be doing accessories, so shouldn't take too much of my time. But I usually start planning around, I try to start planning around June, July, and then just kind of go from there. So around this time, I usually do one gift knit, one like selfish knit, or one or a couple of gift knits, and then a selfish knit, just depending. But yeah, usually it's just, what do I want to make right now? What do I see myself wanting to wear in the near future? if there's a specific event, like say last year for Christmas, I really had a goal to finish the Owlery blouse, and then for my husband, a sweater for him in the same yarn color. So for that had a deadline. So that's like how I chose the project at that specific time. In the summer, I think I started working on my husband's sweater and kind of just worked on it here and there. And then for my blouse, I think I kind of put it off until I was doing other gift knits. But it was like a dash to the finish line, that's for sure. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm so tired. I woke up really early this morning. But I think that's all the questions I had. Yeah, that's it. That's a very long way of saying whatever floats my boat kind of thing, but it's true. It's really true. I feel like during my knit and chats, I don't really show my knitting as often. I didn't get that far along because I'm talking and it's a complicated pattern. I did about, by the end of this video, it'll be 2 rows. But that's okay because I did a lot more in the day in general. I did stuff during my meetings and all of that jazz. I'm gonna be in the office for 1 day this week, so I'm kind of hoping in other meetings I can kind of get a little further, but like I said, I do have another test knit I need to get done, so test knits. I definitely took advantage of time, and the other test knit is the Daphne dress, so I need to get on it. Yeah, I need to get on it. Thankfully, everything, the pattern seems pretty good. Numbers seem pretty great. No one seems to be running into a lot of issues other than maybe just understanding, which makes me that nervous because I have issues understanding sometimes. And it takes me like a week or two to like get it. And that's literally what happened here. So I wasted like the first few weeks just not getting how to do the shaping. And the other project, the deadline is October 7th. So I need to hurry up and finish it. I was thinking, because I think I'm gonna go to Disneyland for my birthday, to try and finish it before then, so I can be like all the cute girlies with their dresses at Disneyland, but I don't think I'm gonna have time. We'll see. I'm gonna try to get through most of it, and I do try to give myself like at least 7 hours of sleep, so we'll see. If I was able to run on 5 hours like I was in high school, I probably would be able to get a little bit more done, but yeah, no, not right now. As I slowly approach closer to 30, I am unable to take anything less than a full 7.5 hours of sleep. Very soon. I'm like 26, so I just don't, I can't do it anymore. I can't work on those many hours of sleep right now anyway. Yeah, the woes of putting off something because it's challenging. And then also my yarn took forever to come in for my other test knit, like the mohair. Little did I know I didn't need to do the mohair part immediately, so I could have literally been working on the body and the skirt and just done the sleeves later, but it's fine. We're fine. I'm literally like that dog in the meme. It's like in a burning building and it's like, it's fine. Everything's fine. Like that's literally how I feel. And then also I'm starting to notice myself in the viewfinder with the light. It just feels weird, but it is what it is. There is no way I'm going to use natural light right now because the sun, it's already warm inside. It's like 80 degrees inside and we have the AC on. Okay, guys, I'm gonna just leave it here because if not, I'm gonna keep babbling on. I'm working on another Knit That TV show series a little more intensely now with the Gilmore Girls. Hope to have it in by the actual start of autumn, or like up by the actual start, but at the very least the first like 2 seasons. I started rewatching it again with the intention of finding patterns for what I think would be worth knitting, like an inspiration of Gilmore Girls. But yeah, so I mean that's about it. Here's my knit. I got 2 rows in. I'm starting like from the underarm on this arm. Again, left arm. It's at the half sleeve length right now. This is probably Kalila length. This is like right under my boobs right now because she likes her stuff super cropped. It's like right here. I think the pattern says to do 11 or whatever your preferred length is, but for me, cropped would be 9 inches, and then my ribbing section. So, plus I think the cropped with the short sleeve would be like ultra extra vintage vibes. So it's definitely what I'm going for. So we'll see. This one, the deadline is September 29th. So I have to get on it. Like I said, the other sleeve took me like a day and a half maybe, or like roughly short of 2 days. So we'll see. Okay guys, it's super hot, and the more I talk, the hotter I'm getting. So I will see you in the next one. Bye. Stay hydrated, stay cool. If you live in colder climates, please blow some of that cool air over here. Okay, bye.